A famous Victorian novel, Jane Eyre. One of the most celebrated novels of the Victorian era is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. Published in 1847, this novel is a blend of romance, Gothic fiction, and social critique, making it a cornerstone of English literature. Summary of events and central characters. The story follows Jane Eyre, an orphan who endures a harsh childhood with her cruel relatives, the Reeds, and later the oppressive Lowood School. Despite these hardships, she grows into an independent and intelligent young woman. Jane becomes a governess at Thornfield Hall, where she meets Mr. Rochester, her mysterious and brooding employer. As their relationship deepens, Jane discovers that Rochester harbors a dark secret. His insane wife, Bertha Mason, is hidden in the attic. Upon learning this, Jane flees, refusing to compromise her morals. After facing further trials, she eventually inherits a fortune, gains independence, and reunites with Rochester, who has been physically weakened by a fire set by Bertha. The novel ends with their mutual love and equality in marriage. Literary analysis of Jane Eyre. Themes: love and independence. Jane struggles to balance her love for Rochester with her self-respect and autonomy. Social class and gender roles. The novel critiques Victorian class divisions and the limitations placed on women. Religion and morality. Through characters like St. John Rivers, Brontë explores different interpretations of faith. Gothic elements. The mysterious Thornfield, the eerie presence of Bertha, and supernatural-like events add a Gothic tone. Character development. Jane's character arc showcases growth and self-discovery. She transitions from a powerless child to a woman who makes her own choices. Rochester's transformation from a dominant, secretive figure to a humbled man emphasizes the novel's theme of moral and emotional redemption. Narrative style. The novel is written in the first-person perspective, allowing readers to deeply connect with Jane's thoughts and emotions. Brontë's use of vivid descriptions, internal monologues, and direct address to the reader, I married him, creates an intimate and engaging reading experience. Symbolism. The Red Room represents oppression and Jane's entrapment. Thornfield Hall symbolizes secrets and hidden truths. Fire and ice. Passion fire versus restraint and rationality. Ice, seen in Jane's relationships with Rochester. Fire and St. John. Ice, learning English through novels. For learners of English as an additional language, reading and listening to novels offers numerous benefits, expanding vocabulary. Exposure to rich and descriptive language enhances vocabulary acquisition. Repeated encounters with words in different contexts help in natural retention, understanding sentence structures. Victorian novels often use complex sentence structures, which improve comprehension skills. Recognizing patterns in tenses, passive voice, and figurative language strengthens grammar. Improving listening and pronunciation. Audiobooks, paired with reading, enhance pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Listening to professional narrators helps learners develop natural English fluency, cultural and historical insights. Classic novels provide a window into historical and cultural contexts, enriching learners' understanding of idioms, customs, and social norms. Engaging with emotional and intellectual depth, novels like Jane Eyre engage readers with universal themes like love, identity, and justice, making language learning meaningful and memorable. Learning English through reading and listening to novels. For learners of English as an additional language, reading and listening to novels can be an effective and enjoyable way to improve language skills. Novels provide exposure to natural sentence structures, diverse vocabulary, and cultural nuances, all of which contribute to fluency. Here's how you can maximize learning through reading and listening to novels, expanding vocabulary naturally. Novels introduce readers to new words and phrases in context, making vocabulary retention more effective than memorizing isolated word lists. Tips for learning vocabulary from novels: underline or highlight unfamiliar words and guess their meanings from context. Use a dictionary to check meanings, but focus on understanding the sentence first. Keep a vocabulary journal to write down new words along with example sentences. Look for repetition. Words appearing multiple times become easier to remember. Example: in Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, words like esteem, civility, acquaintance, and melancholy appear frequently, helping learners recognize their meanings in different contexts. Understanding sentence structures and grammar. Reading novels helps learners see how grammar works in real-life situations rather than in textbook exercises. How to improve grammar through novels: observe how different tenses, conditionals, and passive voice are used naturally. Pay attention to punctuation and sentence structure, which improves writing skills. Identify common phrases and idioms, making your speech more fluent. Example: Charles Dickens' novels often use complex yet structured sentences, which can improve understanding of English syntax. Enhancing listening and pronunciation with audiobooks. Listening to audiobooks while reading along improves pronunciation, rhythm, and comprehension. How to use audiobooks for learning: start with a slow narration to understand pronunciation clearly. Follow along with the text to match words with their spoken forms. Repeat difficult sentences aloud to improve speech fluency. Pause and summarize what you heard to check comprehension. Example: listening to The Great Gatsby read by a narrator helps learners understand intonation and expression, making their spoken English sound more natural, improving reading comprehension. Novels improve the ability to process long texts, infer meaning, and understand storylines. Ways to strengthen reading skills: start with graded readers, simplified versions of classics for learners. Read summaries first to get an idea of the plot before diving into the full novel. Break the text into small sections to avoid feeling overwhelmed. Discuss the book with other learners or teachers to reinforce understanding. Example: Charlotte's Web is a great book for beginners, as it uses simple yet rich language with a heartwarming story, Learning cultural and social contexts. Novels provide insights into English-speaking cultures, historical events, and social norms, making language learning more meaningful. How to learn culture through novels. Choose books that reflect different English-speaking societies, for example, British, American, Australian cultures. Pay attention to idioms, slang, and cultural references. Research historical settings to better understand the language and context. Example: Reading To Kill a Mockingbird offers insights into American history, racial issues, and social justice while improving language skills. Developing critical thinking and expression. Novels encourage readers to analyze themes, characters, and conflicts, which improves critical thinking and helps learners express their ideas better. Ways to practice critical thinking through reading. Write short summaries or personal reflections on each chapter. Compare different characters' viewpoints and express opinions about them. Predict what will happen next in the story to engage deeper with the text. Example: Discussing the moral dilemmas in Frankenstein helps learners develop argumentative and analytical skills in English. Recommended novels for English learners. For beginners: Charlotte's Web, E.B. White, The Little Prince, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. The Secret Garden, Frances Hodgson Burnett. For intermediate learners: Animal Farm, George Orwell. Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen. Of Mice and Men, John Steinbeck. 1984, George Orwell. Jane Eyre, Charlotte Brontë. The Picture of Dorian Gray, Oscar Wilde. Reading and listening to novels is a powerful and enjoyable way to master English. By engaging with authentic texts, learners improve vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and cultural knowledge naturally. The key is to choose the right level of difficulty, stay consistent, and actively engage with the material. Start with a novel that interests you, and enjoy the journey of learning English through storytelling. Would you like recommendations for audiobooks or online resources for reading and listening? Have you ever wondered how you can improve your English effortlessly while enjoying a great story? In this video, we'll explore how reading and listening to novels can help you expand your vocabulary, enhance your pronunciation, and understand English grammar naturally, just like native speakers. From classic literature to modern bestsellers, we'll guide you through the best techniques to make novels your secret weapon for mastering English. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, this method will make language learning fun, engaging, and incredibly effective. Stay tuned to discover the best novels for your level and how to use them for maximum learning. Reading and listening to novels is a powerful method for improving English proficiency. Jane Eyre, with its compelling narrative, rich language, and deep themes, serves as an excellent example of how literature can both educate and inspire. By engaging with classic novels, learners not only improve their language skills, but also gain insight into human nature, history, and storytelling techniques. Would you like recommendations for other Victorian novels that are accessible for English learners?